What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Morning Quarterback. As always, I'm your host, Brian DeGennaro, alongside the ever happy and excited Brandon Kramer. What's going on, Brandon? How are you doing?
I'm depressed. The Giants bring me pain.
Yeah, well, you know what? Why don't we just jump right into our first segment, which we're going to call Tuesday Morning Depression. It's a work in progress, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, a lot of things to be depressed about. Do you want to get started? Should we just jump right into Evan Ingram? Is that what you want to do?
Oh my! I mean, Danny Dimes put it right there.
All right, hold on. Danny Dimes is the worst nickname of all time. Dude can't even hit. He's not even a good passer. Like I don't know where did that come from.
He throws some nice passes, but I mean, here's the thing: when the Giants drafted Evan Ingram, what was it, 2017, mid-first round? I mean, when you're getting a tight end that has wide receiver speed, but in a tight end's body, there are endless possibilities. Look what George Kittle's doing for the Niners, Travis Kelce. I mean, Gronk wasn't as fast, but I can't compare him to Gronk. But
yeah, Gronk.
Ever since they brought him in, he's either been hurt or god-awful. And Thursday night, Giants need a first down, pretty much puts the game away. Jones drops back, throws a corner out to Evan Ingram. Doesn't even look like he extends his arm. Drops the pass. And he shows no reaction. He's like, oh, just another day at the office. I mean, come on. Like, another wasted first-round pick. Tank for Trevor Lawrence. I just mean... But then, love Daniel Jones, who somehow is faster than Lamar Jackson in terms of top speed. No clue how. But how do you fucking trip?
That was great. I was so entertaining. I saw that live, and it just made me really happy.
I was watching Borat, the second Borat. Yeah. I mean, the Giants bring me. I mean, I will say this though: the Giants' defense, James Bradbury, I think is one of the best signings. Props to Gettleman that he's made, but I mean, I just want to beat the Eagles once.
Yeah, I mean, look, there were definitely things for you to be excited about in that game. We just saw. I mean, Daniel Jones looked pretty good, right? Aside from the trip. And to give him credit, that was a good run. I mean, it was a great play until the trip. And they did score right after that, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it really didn't cost them much. But, I mean, they played pretty well. You have to give it to them. But, yeah, definitely a game they should have won. Sorry. But, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, we can talk about the Jets now.
You don't have anything to be happy about.
No, I'm trying to be optimistic, man. Here's the thing. Gather around the computer lab. Let's talk about this. So, I've been very depressed for a while regarding the Jets. Ever since they signed Adam Gase, we knew everyone in the world knew it was a mistake when they did it, except for the guys that were doing it because they're absolute morons. But that's what you get in professional sports. You get owners that literally don't know anything about the sport, but they're the ones in charge just because they have all the money. And maybe I sound a little bitter, but it's just the truth. I mean, we see it in every sport, but particularly with the Jets, they don't know what they're doing, and they're just terrible. So it sucks that we have Gase, but hopefully he'll be gone soon. So I'm trying to stay optimistic about that, right? Now, we are in line to get the number 1 overall pick. And as high as I've been on Darnold for the past few years, and even throughout the beginning of the season, I think it's time for the Jets to move on from him. I think that especially if we're going to get the number 1 pick, I think it's time to go for Trevor Lawrence. And, the Darnold experiment has failed, and we can just accept that and cut our losses because it's not going anywhere at this point. And it's not his fault. I mean, he's been given nothing to work with, but he's shown no signs of improvement. He's actually regressed this year. He's looked pretty bad. And, I'm ready to move on. So there are things to be optimistic about with the Jets. Like I said, the number 1 overall pick, we were in line to get that. There's lots of time for them to screw that up. But it does look like Joe Douglas knows what he's doing. All the picks that he's made so far really seem to be pretty decent. I mean, Mekhi Becton looks awesome. He looks like he's going to be an elite left tackle. Okay,
I could say that about Andrew Thomas right now.
Well,
I'm not giving up on Andrew Thomas. I still think the one thing I will say is the defensive ends he's gone up against. They're big names, but still, he looks terrible. It's
true. And there's going to be growing pains, but I mean, for the Jets, it is encouraging that our left tackle looks really good. For you, not so much, but whatever. Anyways, so there's that, but there's also other guys that we've seen. Ashton Davis looks really good. Denzel Mims looks awesome. He's going to be a stud. So there's stuff to be excited about. And we have so many picks going forward that I just want to be a little optimistic about the Jets for 1 week. 1 week, okay? Next week, I'm sure it'll be gone. But for now, just want to, feel good for a minute. And, in my head, we're getting the number 1 pick, and it'll be all good, right? Is that okay?
Yeah, but
can I have this?
This will be a perfect segue. Does it hurt that you could have had Cliff Kingsbury? And as I mentioned Cliff Kingsbury, we got to talk about
nice
the battle on Sunday night. Kyler Murray versus Russell Wilson. First of all, Tyler Lockett, I have much respect to you, but fuck you. You scored 55 points against me. Come on. But, I mean, that game,
ridiculous.
Game of the year, takes over. The Seahawks have been in game of the year twice this year. Mm-hmm. At first, it was them against the Patriots, and then now them against the Cardinals. But, I mean, that game was insane. I mean, it's not a Seahawks-Cardinals game without a missed field goal that could have won the game in overtime. But, I mean, the big play of the game has to be Russell Wilson throwing a terrible pick to Isaiah Simmons I think it was like 2 minutes left in overtime. I mean,
something like that, yeah.
But the Cardinals look legit, and there were times this season where you're like, okay, maybe they're like kind of like a work in progress. But I mean, they shut down DK Metcalf. Kyler Murray used everyone. He was unstoppable.
Yeah, Murray's got some real talent, and they have a coach that knows what he's doing, which is so refreshing to see. But yeah, no, I think they're the real deal. I don't know if they're going to be going to go far in the playoffs this year, but they definitely have an opportunity. And going forward, they're going to be a problem in the NFL. They're going to be tough to beat. So I mean, that's cool. That's great. But you also have to say, I mean, Seattle really blew that game. They had it wrapped up so many times, and they just blew it. Russell Wilson, for once, shows that he's human, which we didn't know before today. We thought he was a robot. But he made a couple of really bad mistakes. He also threw that interception down at the goal line where DK Metcalf did down from like the back of the end zone. Ridiculous.
Oh, my God. I was actually going to mention that. Hopefully, Pat will put that in.
Yeah.
That was like – I do want to say something. I saw on Twitter, and this pissed me off. Respect DK Metcalf. Also, they say they compared Chase Claypool as well. I don't want to see any fucking comparisons to Calvin Johnson. Yes, DK Metcalf has the same body type and ran the same 40, but Calvin Johnson had the agility of a 5'9" wide receiver. DK does not. Don't even get me started on people comparing Chase Claypool. That guy had 2 good games. I don't want to see any comparisons to Calvin Johnson. But yeah, that play was insane.
Yeah.
I was just watching it again. I mean, DK's a freak.
He is. For someone so big to be so fast, it's just absurd.
It's terrifying. He got locked up this game.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of freaks of nature, let's go down to the battle of the undefeated. The unbeatens. I can't even speak.
Wow.
Steelers versus Titans.
Yeah.
That was a great game. I mean, Titans fans, you probably now hate Steven Gostkowski, but I mean, at one point, it was crazy. It was like a big lead for the Steelers at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it ended up being a really close game, though. So, I mean, both teams are legit. Both teams are really good. And the Steelers are honestly surprising me. I didn't think that they would be this good. I didn't think that Big Ben would come back and be as good as he has been. So, I mean, he's got a great team around him. But just to see him playing pretty well is impressive, especially for his age and after going through all the injuries that he's had the last few years. It's pretty impressive.
That defense is suffocating. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, they held Derrick Henry. I mean, to be fair, they held him to 20 rushes, 75 yards. I mean,
that's impressive.
With the touchdown for like any running back, that might be a good day. But for Derrick Henry,
no, that's garbage for him.
But I mean, that Steelers defense is, if they're going to go far, I mean, yeah, Big Ben's having a resurgence. It's kind of funny to see how he's doing this all without when he lost his 2 best targets.
Yeah.
That actually, they never went undefeated, or they never went 6-0 when they had Bell and Brown. So that's kind of funny. All they needed was Juju. I mean, they just got a bunch of like good wide receivers that kind of just fit the scheme. But
no, they're a good team. They're like well put together. It's not that they have like superstars all over the place. It's just they're a very well put together team and they play well together. And sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah, sometimes
and they have a great coach. Great.
Mike Tomlin is an amazing coach.
Yeah.
Doesn't get as much respect as he deserves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's a top 5 coach in the NFL.
100. There's only a handful of coaches I'd like if you could start a team all over and pick your coaches. He's one of the choices because I mean, he's been there for how many years? And have they ever had like a losing season? They probably like 1 or 2 without Big Ben, but like
they might have had a losing season. Did they have a losing season last year?
No clue.
I think
if anything, it may have been last year.
Yeah, but it wasn't really his fault. I mean, Roethlisberger went down. When your quarterback goes down, you can't really expect to do very well. So, but no, he's always been great. So, and a big thing with him is the locker room chemistry. As soon as Brown became a problem, he shipped him out. As soon as Bell became a problem, he didn't deal with him. So, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Him and on his, I mean, he always would talk shit on his podcast. He's Big Ben kind of seems like there's like conflicting reports. Some people say he's a great teammate. Other people say he's nah. But I mean, I don't think anyone should trust any single word that comes out of Antonio Brown's mouth.
Yeah.
But I think we have to, I mean, it's not week in football without the Falcons choking again.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're terrible.
All Todd Gurley had to do was fall on the goal line. I mean, even though his momentum took him forward, switch the ball on your right hand. So he scores, and you're thinking, oh, they scored. It's fine. Well, then Matthew Stafford drives down the field, does the game-winning touchdown to T.J. Hawkinson. This honestly makes me feel a little bit better with the Giants that most of their games, except for the last one, have been relatively like blowouts pretty much, except the one against the Cowboys. That one still hurt. But for the Falcons, like these are like, honestly, ever since the Super Bowl, they've just been pain.
They're cursed, man. They're
I think the whole Atlanta sports is cursed. I mean,
that's true. Yeah, we did talk about that recently with the Braves, right?
Yeah, they blew a 3-1 lead. The Falcons are just they have decisions to make.
Yeah,
because if you want to, let's say, blow it up, you can get guaranteed a first-round pick for Julio Jones. Are they going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. But I mean, you could essentially, I mean, they're still in contention for that. Like with the Jets, if they go 0-16, they'll have it locked up. But like, the
Jets are going to screw it up somehow, and they're going to win 2 meaningless games and lose that #1 pick. 100%. They're going to have like the #2 overall pick.
That's still a very good pick, though.
But it's not Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It'll be interesting to see if he pulls a Eli Manning in a way. I don't think he will. I think with the Jets is they just need, honestly, get rid of every single coach. Start over, blow it up.
No, that's true. Like I said before, I mean, there's stuff to be optimistic about. Looks like you have the GM, but we'll see what happens.
And I think before we go, we got to just mention a couple injuries. The Giants won the trade. I mean, Odell Beckham tore his ACL. I will stand pat that at first, my initial reaction to that trade, I was pissed. But honestly, for what Gettleman picked with that 17th overall pick in Dexter Lawrence, Pepper's actually playing well. And I think we got O'Shane Jimenez in the 3rd round. I'll take it, honestly. But you never want to see someone go down, but that sucks.
Is Odell Beckham the biggest disappointment in football in the past 10 years? You think?
I honestly think you have to put him up there. I mean, all the times he said, oh, Eli, they're like, oh, put him with the new quarterback, Eli this, Eli that. Eli Manning, honestly, I think that's kind of like an inseparable bond, if you think about it, or kind of like, oh, once he kind of left where he was. I think that the Giants offense is built a lot on slant plays, which I will say Eli Manning threw. I mean, people say it's an easy pass, but with Eli, if you lead the wide receiver perfectly, he's gone. But I mean, they focus their offense, I mean, as you would around your star wide receiver, but more so with Beckham. And once you put him on another team that maybe can't really scheme around him, I mean, no disrespect to Baker, because after he was 0-5, he comes back and throws 18 straight completions, especially that game-winning touchdown. But I mean, I think you can safely say his Browns kind of career and what he showed is definitely could be one of the biggest disappointments. He had Hall of Fame potential. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not a Hall of Famer. I don't think.
No, not now. I think he stayed with the
I'm saying I don't think he even has a chance to come back at this point.
Oh, hell no. Absolutely not.
It's a shame. It's a real shame.
Well, that's going to probably do it for us. I will say one thing, though. If the NFL is listening, and I know you're not, please flex the Steelers-Ravens game to Sunday night. No one wants to watch the Cowboys' third-string quarterback versus the Eagles.
But they're America's team, Brandon. What are you talking about?
No. I mean, prayers to Andy Dalton, though. He got decapitated.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That'll be it for us. And go Giants.